Hi, today we're going to talk about some teen books, and in our teen section we have quite a variety, you'll see from some of the picks that I have here. So this first one, which is Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen, this is a story of a young girl who lives in Lithuania, and the Russians have taken over Lithuania, and they have banned the speaking of their language, and they cannot have books that are written in their language either. And this young girl's parents are killed, and she finds herself as part of a smuggling ring for books. Ironically, she does not know how to read, and so she gets into taking over for her parents and helping to smuggle these books, and through the course she learns to read. This is a really well-written book. The thing that I liked is that it really points out the power of the written word, and so as you read through this book you'll see that's one of the main messages, is that the written word has this power to influence and to educate. So that's a very good book if you like historical fiction. Or these next two are by the same author, Ronnie Arno. In Dear Poppy, Poppy's father decides that he's going to move Poppy and her brother and himself, their mom is deceased, into their grandpa's farm, and he has just recently passed away. And in the barn, Poppy discovers some letters that are written to Dear Poppy, is how they're addressed. And so she believes that these letters were written to her from her deceased mom to help her through the things that she's going to be going through in this transition and in starting a new school and everything. So of course emerges the usual mean girls who pick on Poppy, but her mom's letters comfort her, they offer her advice, and in the end there's a twist with those letters, but through this experience Poppy relies on those letters to get through it all. And then Ruby Reinvented. Ruby is a 12-year-old whose parents are both famous movie stars, and at her last birthday party she learned that her best friends were only friends to her because they wanted to meet her famous parents. And so she convinces her parents to get her out of LA and to move her somewhere else. And so she starts this new school, but she reinvents herself. She decides she's not going to tell people that her parents are famous. She tells them that her parents have passed away and tries to use this lie to just fit in with everyone. But she ends up finding out, of course, that lying doesn't work. This book by Gordon Corman, Restart. This was a great book, very humorous at times. It is the story of Chase, who falls off the roof, and he gets to restart. He gets a second chance at life, and the thing is that he no longer remembers his previous life at all. But as he goes back to school and kids are cringing and get away from him, he realizes that he was the class bully. And so now Chase has to make some decisions if he is going to go back to his former self or what exactly he's going to do with this new chance at life. So this is a very good book. Float is a little bit different book. This book is by Laura Martin. In Float, the young man that's the lead in the book, he goes off to camp, and he's not really sure about going to camp because he has a special power. His power is that he can obviously float. And so his mom sends him to this camp where other special kids are, and he's nervous. He doesn't want to be there. He hasn't made friends easily. He's really worried that if he's outside and something goes wrong, his boots that are weighted don't work, or if something happens, is that he would float away out into the universe and never be seen again. So he's terrified of this camping experience, but he goes there anyway because mom insists, and he finds other friends who also are different, and he learns that being different isn't always bad, that everyone is special in some way, and that no one is perfect. And so some good lessons in that book, and it's written in a very fun way. And then this book is different even from all of the other ones that I've shown you. This is The Edge of Extinction, and there's actually a series of those books, but this is the ARC plan. This is the first one. And in this book, it's futuristic. They had decided that they should bring back the dinosaurs. And of course, that's not a very well thought out plan, because the dinosaurs start taking over. And so the people have to go underground, and they go into this underground compound that they call the Ark in order to survive. The young girl who's in the story, one of the main characters, her father leaves the Ark, and she doesn't see him again. And so she goes, because of she receives a message from him, and she's determined that she's going to find him. So she goes out into the upper world to try and find her dad. And so this book is kind of about her adventures out there as she tries to find her dad. So each of these books I highly recommend, and don't be afraid, even if you're not a teen. Some of these books have great lessons to read.